No love loss.
Yeah, right.
All right, Michigan won down there.
Mat 4 from Michigan, Max Huntley.
Huntley wins, so.
I believe we are streaming.
The number 5 seed from Ohio State, Nico Trigus. Nico Trigus. His opponent, the number 4, Sean Boyle. Number 4 seed, Sean Boyle. Boyle, Trigus, mat number 4 on deck.
Chad.
Yep, we're on, I think. Yep.
Okay, welcome back to Takedown Wrestling, and been on live TV, or live radio. Now we're on the Mat TV and themat.com. Welcome to this broadcast of the 2010 Big Ten Wrestling Championships from Champaign, Illinois. Champaign-Urbana, the University of Illinois, the Fighting Illini. I'm Steve Foster. To my right is Jeff Murphy, and to my far right is the Crizzinator, we call him, Chad Criz. Thanks for joining us, Chad, here.
Oh, yeah.
The Big Ten Championships. And
Are we set right, Chad? Because it looks like we're bouncing pretty hard on the knob there. So
yeah, that's about where we were at.
All right,
on the
that's
other
good.
show.
sounds good. Jeff Murphy, we've had some stuff take place since we kind of rearranged ourselves and got up here to our bird's nest. It's kind of a nicer view, though, to see all 4 mats.
that's right. So let's take one step back here before we do it, and because we may have some fans out there that are just joining us right now on the internet, and obviously may not have had the opportunity to hear us earlier. So live from the Big Ten Championships here in Champaign, Illinois, we're most of the way through the first round. We've got the 197-pounders and the heavyweights out here right now. It's been an outstanding first round, hasn't it, Steve?
A lot of bonus points scored on some of these matches, a lot of pins. I know at 125 and 133, wow, I mean, Ramos came out, pinned his guy, and I remember Delgado getting a pin, just from my memory.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of the top seeds have really scored bonus points by falls.
Absolutely. We've really seen some of those top teams start to separate themselves in this first round. Obviously, with 10 teams in the first round and you're running a different type of bracket, a 16-team bracket, there's a lot of buys. So we do have four buys in every round, but so those wrestlers will have an opportunity in the next round to pick up some additional points for their team. Because obviously they don't get that opportunity in what would be termed the pigtails here. So
I know Chad Criz mentioned earlier, when you get those buys, the next round that you go to, as you score, compared to bowling earlier, like you're sparing your strikes, but you can get extra points if you get a pin after you've had a bye. If you get a pin next round, you get to double up your points for your team. And so those kids, those young men, that athletes that got buys, it's going to be fun to see how fired up they come out. And I'm sure they're aware of that statistic or stat.
Yep,
that can happen. I'm sure the coaches are going to say, hey, not only get points from this match, but you're going to get some extra points from your bye previously. So let's go get the fall and double up on this situation.
Yeah, so let's get right on it here. We're in an overtime match in front of us. The University of Iowa, Nathan Burke from the University of Iowa
Tough
versus
match.
Caleb Kolb from Nebraska. It's 1-1 in the first overtime period. The match ended in a 1-1 tie. 47 seconds left in the overtime. Both wrestlers on their feet in the middle of the mat. And I think, Steve, we'll just stay right here with this one. If we get some score on one of the others, we'll add it. But
both about even records. Colt from Nebraska has a 15-16 record, and the Iowa Hawkeye is 14-13. Yeah. So in on a shot here is Kolb from Nebraska, trying to take Burak down here from the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yep, 20 seconds left, Steve. So as long as Burak can keep that weight on his head, I don't think Kolb can come out from underneath. He's got that ankle, but he's got his head buried deep.
Oh, he needs to cut the corner, and he's not able to.
The referee calls
6 seconds to go. With 6 seconds to go. Wow. Coaching corner, Craig Brester for Nebraska, and Brian Snyder for the Hawkeyes. You got one of the Brands, Terry Tom Brands, in the corner with the Beast to the East, Kurt Backus.
Yep, and that's the end of the first
Hawkeyes.
overtime period. So the referee flips a coin, and green comes up. And Burak says, I'll start the sudden victory on the down position.
So he's going to start in the down position.
30 seconds on the clock. And
Caleb
Steve, a little
Kolb.
hardware thing. I've only got sound in one ear. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
good
same
or
here,
bad.
my left.
All right, that's
Yeah,
good.
it's mostly my left.
We're
one, so.
okay then.
Up to his feet is Burek trying to get out. A stall warning against Nebraska. You got your escape for the Iowa Hawkeye.
Yep, 19 seconds, so that is 7 seconds of riding time. That'll be important as we go forward.
Real important there for Burke to get his hands cleared. Got those hands broke and turned into Kolb from Nebraska. And 2-1's the score, 4 seconds to go. It's just 7 seconds of riding time, so it's really not a determining factor because we're actually in the ride-up situations.
Yep. So Kolb back to the center and gets set. Burke climbs on top.
Can ride him out. Could be the difference maker. Kolb's going to try to get up to his feet if he can.
Yep.
Burke with a tight waist ride there. Kind of a spiral ride. Up to his feet with an inside stand-up is Kolb. They go out of bounds. Stall warning against Burek.
Yep. This referee's making it known that he is not going to let you push the guy out of bounds in this overtime period. So a stall warning on both wrestlers.
Which can be a tactic, you know.
Burke's going to have to watch that because he's got that propensity to call that if he pushes him. And Kolb with an escape with 16 seconds left.
So
there's 5 seconds of riding time on the clock in favor of green, which could become important later in this match to remain tied.
From the Iowa Hawkeyes, so that could be the difference maker. 3, 2, 1, that's it. We're tied 2-2. So now I think Nebraska is going to get
nope, both up on their feet.
Both up on their feet, so we're going to start fresh for takedowns here. Hold on, that ref started them, but the clock wasn't ready. So.
Yeah. So they've got a minute, both back on their feet in this second overtime period. Sudden victory.
So in on a shot's Kolb, but underhook blocked by Burek. Burek doing a good job here, just kind of collar tie, both of them elbow tie. 46 seconds to go. Just a 1 minute sudden victory for takedowns when you start over again. It's kind of like it's like starting all over again, basically.
Yep. You know, we talked to Kurt Backus, Burke's coach. Burke's had some lumps this year. Kolb in on a single leg, trying to pick Burke up. He picks that leg up. He's standing on his feet. 22 seconds left. Burke's dancing around on 1 foot. Kolb drags him back to the center of the mat.
Good strategy here by Kolb to try to get this.
Burke fighting him hard. Kolb tries to go for it.
Tries to go
off the edge of the mat.
Nice
Burke spins around.
Nice edge of the mat wrestling there by Burke.
Both wrestlers out of bounds.
Good wrestling there on the edge of the mat.
You know, Kolb drug him back to the center, but then in his effort to go get that takedown, let Burke get all the way back to the edge and then sprawl.
Really thought Kolb would have had the edge there.
Yeah, he
had the leg up in the air.
Certainly missed a golden opportunity. So it's still tied 2-2, the end of the overtime period. We've got 2 30-second rideouts here, and at the end of those 30-second rideouts, we're going to make a decision. Again, Burke's got 5 seconds of riding time, which could become important. And
could be a determining factor eventually.
And Burke starts on top this time around because he started on bottom first last. And Kolb immediately gets up to his feet, and Burke takes him back to the mat. Burke riding tough, 21 seconds left. Kolb up to his feet. Burke grabs a single leg, rides him off the mat. 18 seconds left in this overtime period. Both wrestlers back to the center. No change, 2-2.
17 seconds of riding time.
The winner on mat 2.
It could be huge here for the Iowa Hawkeye, Burke. Kolb starts down, like you say, Jeff, up to his feet again.
Yeah, Burke grabs that single leg again.
Trying to get a kick out there.
Burke chases him and follows him.
Oh, man, does a good job. Keeps the toes in bounds, so kept the clock running there.
Absolutely. So we're down to
wrestling
8
by Burke.
seconds. No change. Wrestlers go out of bounds. So we've got Kolb back to center circle in the down position. Burke climbs on top. 8 seconds left in the sudden victory period. Kolb up immediately and escapes. With 5 seconds left, Kolb up immediately.
That's huge. That's a difference maker because the ride out. Okay, here we go. We got some more wrestling.
Yep. So
Burke
it's
3-2.
3-2, but Burke is down. But probably more importantly, Burke has 30 seconds of riding time. Kolb either has to ride him out And even then, I'm not sure what happens because they would have an equal riding time.
Right, yeah, he's got to ride him out. He can't let him escape. He can erase everything. Burt gets out instead himself, ties up 3-3, and he's got 19 seconds of riding time.
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, with that 19 seconds, all Burke's got to do now with 11 seconds left in the match is not get taken down and not get a stall warning on it.
Right, yeah, they both had a couple warnings because they kind of played the edge of the map there when they were going for takedowns there originally in the sudden victory period.
There's the end of the match, and Burke's going to win this one because of riding time.
Because of riding time. 19 seconds more riding time. So the Iowa Hawkeye, the freshman, moves on over Culp of Nebraska Cornhuskers. So hard-fought match there between both of those athletes. But Burke comes out on top. Nathan does. And moves on. So there you go. We'll set the stage here for the heavies coming out. Some of the heavyweights have already been wrestling.
Yeah, some of the heavies have
already, but we'll be on
So we've got one 197-pound match still out there, Steve. That match is between looking here.
Match
hang on.
40.
Match 40 is the little guys.
Yeah, I think we're
sorry, we've already got
97s, yeah.
Yep. So
match number 38.
All right. So we're already at match number 38. So we got two matches of heavies in front of us, 37 and 38, Steve.
Jimmy Larson, Penn State.
Yeah, versus
redshirt sophomore.
Yep. And 37 is Adam Chalfont versus Chris Lopez of Illinois.
And Jimmy Larson's opponent is Costa Kara George.
And as we look at the other two mats, in the match number 39, that's Matt McDonough out there on the far mat. Matt McDonough versus Dom Malone from Northwestern University.
Well, I guarantee you'd like to pick up some of those extra bonus points due to his bye first round. So,
and Nico Trigas from Ohio State University versus Sean Bowl of Michigan over here. So 225-pound matches, two heavyweight matches out there.
Right now, I believe Larson is leading 2-0 here against Kara George. And Larson gets two more for Penn State, so now leads 4-0 for Penn State with 1:42 seconds to go in the second period, I believe. That's a long ways from here that Matt is. Indiana and Illinois, I believe, is still scoreless right down here in match number between Lopez and Chalfont. Chalfont had some good wins earlier in the season and kind of got on my radar screen as I've been following it throughout the season. And big takedown double leg attempt there by Chalfont. But Chris Lopez doing a good job fighting that off. Goes into a Granby roll, Lopez does.
Over here going into the second period in that match between McDonough and Dom Malone from Northwestern University. 4-4.
All tied up there between the Wildcat and the Hawkeye on match number 39 down there.
Got a little blood timeout over there in the big heavyweight match between
Penn State and Ohio State.
Absolutely.
Kara George and Larson. Larson still leading. Jimmy Larson 4-0 in the battle of the big guys down there. Well, they're not only big, they're tall. That Kara George, he's got to be about 6'4" or 5. He's a big guy. I don't know if there's a bigger one, though, than Tony Nelson. He's a big guy.
And Sean Bowl, the number 4 seed from Michigan at 125 pounds, gets a takedown on Nico Trigas. It is 2-0 at the late in the first period.
Trigas trailing, so.
Well,
big for
Trigas
Michigan.
is a 5 seed. Michigan's Boyle is a 4 seed. So
Boyle's been good. He's had a good season for Michigan.
Oh, boy. McDonough tries to sit out. McDonough starts on the bottom, tries to sig out. He almost gets caught on his back.
That would be huge.
And he stands up and gets the one, so McDonough up 5-4 in the second period. About a minute left in that second period.
He did just about got thrown on his back. He had good recovery there by Matt McDonough. He knew where he was, knew he was in danger, and came out of that. So
McDonough now over the top, and he's going to try to cut the corner here.
Larson still leading Kara George from Ohio State down there. Jimmy Larson for Penn State. 4-0. Almost 3 minutes of riding time. 30 seconds to go. So referee Kevin Tan pulls them back to their feet. Is that right?
Yep, still 5-4 McDonough. Both wrestlers must be a blood timeout.
Yeah, I think it is.
All right, so we'll switch over to one of these other mats here.
Jimmy Larson still in the driver's seat against Kara George of Ohio State. And Chalfont leads down here against Lopez.
Yep.
Lopez filling in for Walker, who was 14-1 before he got injured here for the host team here at Illini.
Yeah, we interviewed him earlier in the season.
Yeah, we did.
Somewhere along the line.
Yeah, Midlands. We had him on in the Midlands. He had his crutch and his cast on his leg.
Really nice young man.
He is, Walker. Like Coach Hunter told us today, what's so sad in those situations, him and B.J. Futrell, they're seniors.
So over here, Jimmy Larson, well, we've got
Kara George.
Kara George had a cradle on him. Looked like he was going to try to turn him, but Larson was able to slip out, get the reversal. Larson now up 6-0 in the third period, early in that third period.
McDonough's still tied up 5-4 down there in the battle between him and his Northwestern opponent there, Malone.
Yep, 5-4, and we're early in the second period on the other 125-pound match, where Sean Boyle continues to have a 2-0 lead over Nico Trigas from Ohio State. McDonough in a funky position right now. Malone's got his ankle, and Malone's almost on his back. McDonough's comes up between the legs. Looks like he's going to have the takedown, but Malone hangs on to that ankle. Referee Kevin Tan says, okay, that's a stalemate. Let's go back to the
smart wrestling by Malone, really, to try to get to make that thing neutral, because it really looked like McDonough had it dead center and got the takedown.
Well, if McDonough could have got that ankle free, he was in a great position not only get the takedown, but get back points.
Chalfont starts on the bottom, Lopez on top. Chalfont leads for Indiana right now on the heavyweights down here.
Chalfont comes out the back. Lopez tries to put feet in. Chalfont comes out the back. He's up 3-0 now.
With that escape, Larson's leading 6-1 down there with a truckload of riding time. 3 minutes, 18 seconds of riding time. So,
and we're in the third period now between McDonough and Malone. McDonough starts on top. McDonough up 5-4.
So that'd be big for Malone if he could pull off this upset with just 1 point. But
Jimmy Larson throws his opponent by. He's now up 8-1 with a minute left in the match. 3 minutes and 28 seconds of riding time for Larson.
Larson looking good.
If he can just ride this man out, he'll have the major decision. He's trying to lock him up in a cradle right now, but I don't think he can get that done.
Kara George is real tall. It's probably going to be hard to get a cradle on him. Just his head and his knees going to be so far from one another. Yep. It's going to take some work to get that cradle. He's trying an inside cradle.
McDonough's still riding tough down here. 58 seconds left in that match. He's up 5-4.
And he's just getting the riding time going his direction.
Yep.
Because Don Malone had a lot of riding time, really rode McDonough out. I think, Matt, it's been discussed. I think he's cutting a lot of weight. People say that's a rumor anyway.
Yep. It'll be real interesting to see what he does in the second day of this tournament, where he's got to cut weight back to back.
2 days in a row. He's real tall. I thought when he started his freshman year, he'll probably be a 33-pounder by the time he's done. But
well, I'd like to point out to you, Steve, that I'm not cutting weight right now. So
yeah,
I'm
there you go.
To eat a little later.
Yeah, so we just got to find the media hospitality room, right? That's what I'm talking about. McDonough riding tough on top. Good wrist rides here by McDonough. Riding kind of parallel, but nevertheless, it counts. And riding time, I don't know if he can mathematically get the riding time, so you might end up just winning 5-4. 1 point win.
Yeah.
For McDonough, so McDonough wins 5-4, I believe.
Yep. Starts very slow. Don Malone, a freshman with a 16-10 record, but wrestled a really good match against McDonough.
Kept up with McDonough, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
A 1 point win there for Iowa. And the Hawkeye, Mr. McDonough, moves on for Iowa.
Yep, Jimmy Larson, the big heavyweight from Penn State,
moved on
wins. He gets the major decision.
Chalfont still leads 3-0 here for the Indiana Hoosiers. So Larson moves on. We're filling in our brackets, by the way, folks. So
yep, trying to keep up.
Yeah.
All right, so a little bit of action down here between Tricos and Boyle.
Yeah,
Boyle from Michigan still up 4-1 over Nico Trigas from Ohio State. Boyle on top, 54 seconds left in the match. Boyle riding tough.
Trigos kind of got it, did a roll through there. Could have got caught, but
Trigos had ridden him quite a bit earlier in the match, but Boyle's got riding time down under a minute now. And in this last heavyweight match, Chalfont with our Kara George with the escape, and Kara George now, our Chalfont now up 3-1 over Kara George. We've got Penn State over here on the far mat, Nico Megaludis.
41, 44.
Yep. Megaludis versus David Thorne from Minnesota. Megaludis with an early takedown up 2-0 with 2 minutes left in that first period.
Boy, 125 this year at the Big Tens is tough. You know, you look at some of these names and where they're seated and ranked nationally as well as just in the Big Tens. And
oh, absolutely, Steve.
Megaludis goes out of bounds down there against Thorne of or Penn State against Illinois.
I was just trying to look. I've got all my paperwork here from earlier, and I don't know where I put everything. It's a little congested right now. There we go.
It's going to be Daryl Thomas against Jordan Conaway.
Yeah, the Big Ten Conference, 74 automatic qualifiers coming out of this conference. 7 automatic qualifiers coming out of the 125-pound class.
You know, they kind of earn it because when you look at the rankings and how many schools they all have wrestling. It's mandatory if you're in the Big Ten. Your school is required to have a Division I varsity wrestling.
So,
if we could get that in every conference.
Absolutely. So at the end of the match, Sean Boyle, number 4 seed from Michigan, with a 4-2 win.
That's true to form. He was seeded 4 and 5 seed, so the number 4 seed does win. Sean Boyle for the Michigan Wolverines.
So we're going to see.
The winner on mat 1 from Indiana.
Yep, we're going to.
Boyle and McDonough eventually.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Delgado's across the way from us, Steve. Jesse Delgado from Illinois, the number 3 seed, versus Camden Eppert from Purdue. And Delgado is up 2-0 early in that match.
Big takedown there for Delgado, the number 3 seed in this tournament.
Now, hold on a second. All right. We got things a little out of order, so let's go back and retrack our steps here just a second. I apologize to everyone out there. It's
Daryl Thompson, actually, match 44.
Yeah, it's Daryl Thomas versus Jordan Conaway over there. That's a 2-1 score in the first period. I thought that was Thorne. The wrestlers were sort of behind the pylon over there. We could see the Penn State wrestler, and we thought it was a 125-pound class, but they're a little ahead of us over there in 33. So, again, Thorne and Megaludis going to wrestle right down here in front of us just shortly. There's having some type of discussion about who's what and where, and I'm not sure exactly what that all entails. Coach Sanderson, Coach Eggum up there talking with the refs. Looks to be some confusion. So we'll bring that one on just as quick as we can here. Over on the mat number 4, Steve, Logan Stieber, top seed from Ohio State University, taking on Rossi Bruno from Michigan. Bruno with the upset in the first round.
Well, he's gonna have to really work to get the upset here, because I'll tell you what, Logan Stieber's and getting a hammer on him.
And Daryl Thomas.
Stieber gets the pin.
Yep. Stieber gets the pin, and Daryl Thomas from Illinois gets a takedown. And
Stieber gets the pin.
Yep, so Thomas leads Conaway from Penn State 4-3. Conaway up with an escape right away.
Well, the number 1 seed, the number 1 ranked wrestler, and the undefeated Logan Stieber gets a big pin. So there's your bonus points there, because he got the bye. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So setting the stage once again, we've got one match still going on at 125. Or excuse me, 2 matches. We got Delgado over there. Delgado up 2-1 right now at 141 pounds in the second period, and the match just underway in front of us. Megaludis from Penn State and Thorne from Minnesota.
That's just scoreless because they're just getting started, and in on a shot is Thorne.
The other 2 matches out there, Daryl Thomas ahead of Jordan Conaway 4-3 late in the second period. And just getting started over here, we're going to move on to the 141-pound match where Hunter Stieber is going to wrestle Cameron Jackson from Michigan.
So we had Ohio State, Michigan, back to back. Bruno was Michigan. So that's kind of been the Michigan, Ohio State mat, you would say, down there.
Absolutely.
Delgado still leads just 2-1 as his lead down on mat number 3. Delgado, the number 3 seed.
The second period coming to a close down here between Thomas and Conaway. Thomas still up 4-3 going into the third period, but Conaway starts on the bottom so he can even this thing up if he can get an escape.
I know Penn State would love to see Conaway come through these brackets and advance a little bit farther than he's expected to, and this would be his opportunity for them. Delgado in on another shot here against Camden Eppert. Eppert from Purdue doing a good job just though trying to tie up Delgado, but I think Delgado comes around the corner, gets the takedown, and now 4-1 in favor of Jess Delgado for the Fighting Illini of Illinois.
Conaway gets the escape, and it's 4-4 with a minute and 44 seconds left in that match. And completely across the auditorium, Hunter Stieber with the takedown. About a minute and a half gone in the first period. He's up 2-0.
I tell you, his brother Logan didn't make much time out of that last one, did he?
No, he just sort of went out.
He just came out, Stieber, and pinned his opponent, man.
Got his business done. Down here in front of us, in the matchup between Thorne and Megaludis, that's still tied 0-0.
Yeah,
both wrestlers just sort of tying up. One little half shot, but really nothing with much heart. Minute left in that first period.
I think David Thorne is the son of John Thorne, is that right? A former All-American back in the day for the Iowa State Cyclones. It's amazing how these families keep this stuff a family thing, you know?
Yep.
John Thorne. What was Thorne? 130-pounder, I think.
His brother Mike, I believe, just graduated last year.
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So we're 4-4 over here between Daryl Thomas from Illinois and Conaway from Penn State.
Good match.
50 seconds left in this match. Riding time not going to be a factor.
Delgado got out for the escape over Camden Eppert and now leads 5-1. So Delgado might get another takedown here too. So 2 more points for that Fighting Illini. Jess Delgado. 2 more. 7-1 now is the score. And 2 minutes and 24 seconds of riding time. So Delgado's really been in the driver's seat here.
Ooh.
For
Thomas
Illinois.
in on a really nice shot. Conaway counters.
Well, I tell you, nice counter by Conaway there.
Both wrestlers up on their feet. Nice scramble. And they go out of bounds. 10 seconds left in that match.
Yeah,
4-4.
Tough match here. It's 8 seconds to go. They might be content to just take it into sudden victory, I think.
That's what looks like what it's going to happen.
3, 2, 1. Here we go. Sudden victory between the Nittany Lion and the Fighting Illini here.
Yep.
At Assembly Hall, Champaign, Illinois. Steve Foster, Jeff Murphy, Chad Kriz down there at the end. Jump in, Chad, when you feel led.
Just trying to get a little caught up here doing some crazy technical
some good research.
Crisis control.
Crisis control.
Trying to put us into stereo. Right now we're running mono, aren't we?
So what you've told us is we've been talking for the last 20 minutes. Boy, a great scramble down on mat number 2.
Boy, nice ankle pick attempt there by Thomas.
Nothing comes of it, though.
He had that ankle all seized up, but Conaway.
But Conaway fought him off really nicely.
We are running live right now. We're trying to get onto the mat.com on the homepage there, but you can find us on the mat.tv at the top of the page. You just have to click.
Oh, Thomas runs deep.
Thomas twice has been in on 2 scoring opportunities. Conaway doing a good job of scrambling out of that situation.
Yeah, great job of scrambling out.
He was in there so deep, you just thought, wow, there's no way he can't score that.
10 seconds left in this first overtime period, and it looks like we're 7 seconds left. They go back to center, still 4-4. Over here, Megaludis from Penn State, the number 2 seeded wrestler, ahead 3-0 right now.
He leads. Thorne just got the big takedown there. So,
and there's the end of the first period.
Delgado wins with a major, 10-2.
Yep. End of the first overtime period between Conaway and Thomas. Conaway takes down to start the first 30-second ride out.
Riding time is erased for this.
Yeah, it does. Restart. It starts all over again.
And Conaway out with 6 seconds of riding time, so temporarily takes a 5-4 lead.
Folks, one of the hardest jobs in any wrestling event is that of the wrestling.
And let's see what else is happening over here. It looks like Hunter Stieber up 5-0 as time winds down in the second period.
Officials of the Big Ten.
And as I think we heard just a minute ago, Delgado won his match.
Major decision.
Yep.
10-2, so he got a major, picked up some bonus points for the host team here of Illinois.
You got a
University of Chad Kriz.
Got a good match over here going on. Mat number 3 just started between Tyler Graff and Dardanes.
So the first overtime period ends. And with no score in the second overtime period, or with no change in the second overtime period, and Daryl Thomas escapes almost immediately. So it's now 5-5. There is 8 seconds of riding time in favor of Thomas right now.
Then they changed it to 6.
To 6 seconds, that's right. So they must have adjusted. Must have been slow on the trigger there, whoever was.
Well, now they've gone down to 4.
So I'm not sure what that's all about. Other than
kind of adjusting the riding time as they go there, Jeff.
Well, it looks like the referee is right there behind them, and they're having a discussion about what they did. So the coaches don't like it, but I think they got it right.
Throwing up to his feet, Megaluna's doing a good job readjusting, and kind of in the wheelbarrow situation there.
So with we're back to center. It's now the second overtime period. Both wrestlers on their feet between Conaway and Thomas. Conaway has a 4-second riding time advantage.
And that will follow out into the next ride out if it does make it in there.
Yeah, that made a difference in her previous.
Conaway Thomas deep on a single leg. Conaway's got a whizzer on him, but I think Thomas is going to wrap this up. No, Conaway comes out of it. There's a massive scramble now, and nobody.
Amazing.
No takedown. What a great set of moves. Just a great set of moves.
Real scrambling there.
I tell you what, Thomas was in so deep that time. There is no way that Conaway
has survived at least 3 or 4 takedown attempts that you thought Thomas had him dead center. This is a takedown.
Where Thomas slipped up there, his coaches will tell you to finish low and stay low, and he had that leg and tried to lock up the cradle and was able to.
So he should have changed his elevation, should he? Should have stayed down there low.
He went for the big move instead of just getting the win.
Yep. You got to secure that takedown. That could have been the difference maker.
Yep. 20 seconds left in this match, in the overtime period.
Thompson needs that.
Thomas in on another single leg.
Oh, Thomas
Conaway fights him off. Oh my goodness! And now a scramble, and it looks like I don't know that anybody's going to get anything out of this.
7 seconds. 6,
I think the ref's going to stalemate the whole thing before we're done. There's 2, there's 1, and he's just going to let time run out. No score. I'm telling you what, Conaway lives enough. He must have 9 lives, and he's got 7 of them used up.
Right. Megalunas beats Thorne.
Conaway is going to start down on this last overtime here.
And Thomas has a 2-second riding time advantage right now.
Yeah, he does. And up and out is Conaway right away. Leads escape.
6-5. Thomas needs a takedown here for the win.
6-5. Thomas needs to stay out of this situation.
Well, 6-5, but we got another.
Yeah, we'll have another ride out. Yeah. Thomas will be down, or Conaway.
Yeah.
Or Thomas. Thomas will be down.
Thomas has got a 5 seconds
be on top.
Time,
so Tyler Graff and Dardanes is 2-1 in favor of Graff down there. So
On mat number 2.
So Graff.
Illinois and Penn State.
All right, so
that has been a great match, as Scott Casper points out. That match down on mat number 2 has been what we call Donnybrook.
Yep, Hunter Stieber won his match.
Hunter Stieber came out on top.
Conaway now on top in the final ride-out period, and the riding time's going the wrong way.
It is, isn't it?
It's counting the wrong way, but I will tell you this, that Conaway is certainly got the riding time advantage now. He's riding him 15 seconds left in the match, so Conaway's got to ride him out, or he's also going to win on riding time. Either way, he's got this one sealed up as long as he doesn't.
He's got Thomas flat on his belly, too. So,
and you can hear the fans around us. Jordan Conaway with the win.
Conaway comes out victorious, folks.
Rode
down on mat number 2.
Yep, rode him
an amazing match.
Yep. Rode him out the entire third period, so.
Amazing match and a big win for Penn State Nittany Lions as Conaway comes out victorious. So Penn State picking up a big win there.
We are sitting directly behind the Penn State crowd.
Yeah, we are right.
So yeah, when talk over them quite a bit.
That's right.
So when Penn State wins, you're going to be hard pressed to hear us.
You're going to know it.
Yeah, Tyler Graff. Boy, they're in a Donnybrook down there between Dardanes and Graff. I believe Graff's still up 4-3. A lot of upper body situation down there. Looking like it was going to be who throws or throw or be thrown.
Yep, we've got another Nittany Lion in front of us, Brian Pearsall from Penn State. From Penn State versus Brandon Nelson from Purdue. 0-0 right now in the first period.
Pearsall kind of reminds me of a little thinner version of David Taylor.
Yep.
And we've got, so I get them mixed up.
We've got two Hawkeyes out here right now.
Ramos.
So we got Tony Ramos out here.
Cash Karoga.
Yep. And on the other side of the mat, we've got Matt Balwick versus Rich Kiley from Nebraska.
Cash was an All-American at 125 pounds back in Omaha. That'd be 2010.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, he's All-American for Purdue Boilermakers, Cash Karoga has. So Karoga's been a real good mainstay for them. I've watched him during the year in his duels, and he's 10-1, so he's got a good record. Just one loss on the year, but
deep on a takedown on Ramos, but Ramos is able to get his hip squared up and away.
Ramos is tough. He's had a stellar year this year. I know his opponent from Oklahoma State kept it a one-point match, I think down on Galler Ivy Arena, down in Stillwater, Oklahoma. But other than that, boy, Ramos has been on a tear.
Yep. And Balwig out to an early 4-1 lead over Ridge Kiley from Nebraska. Balwig on top, 26 seconds left in the first period.
It's Ridge Kiley. I've watched him wrestle. He's good,
Eagle
but
Grove.
Balwig.
Yep, Eagle Grove.
Yeah, he is.
Iowa City West.
Yep, he's an Iowa wrestler, Iowa high school wrestler, that is. 6-4 still. Graff leads Dardanes down there on mat number 3. Match number 45.
Yep, and nothing, 0-0 score
Purcell.
here between Pearsall and Nelson in a scramble, but I don't think either wrestler is going to come out of it with any points. And you've got Ramos in on a single leg, a minute 24 seconds, and Ramos knocks his other leg out first period.
Cash Karoga doing a good job getting up to his feet here for the Purdue Boilermakers, but once Ramos gets on top of you, boy, he can really work you pretty tough. Starts working those arms, he really goes for falls, back points.
Early in the second period, Balwig starts down, and he gets up to his feet and now leads 5-1.
Nice inside stand-up by Tyler Graff, and faces Dardanes and gets the escape, now leads 7-4. Minute and 30 seconds to go in the third period there between the Badger and the Gopher. Mat number 3. And Purcell, I think, leads down here, doesn't he, against Nelson, 1-0 with the escape for Penn State. Jeff Murphy?
Well, Steve, this is really an amazing auditorium, and I look up and they have a whole lot of, looks like retired jerseys from the basketball team up here around the center. I don't know how they have any numbers left on the team, because there's about 50 of them up there.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know if they go to 100 or not, but they probably tied up about half of the numbers available.
So Ramos in with another takedown. He's now up 4-1.
Cash Karoga's got his head planted on the mat. That's usually not a good sign for that athlete on the bottom. You want to keep your head up off the mat. Once you bury your head, you're usually in trouble more times than not. If you're burying your head, you better at least keep your elbows in, right, Chad Chris? You're going to be in trouble. You can feel a half Nelson, 3/4 Nelson, or some type of arm or chicken wing coming in.
So end of the first period, score 4-1 in favor of Tony Ramos. He's got a minute and 13 seconds of riding time as well.
So Ramos just 3-point lead right now, but kind of seems to be in the driver's seat against Cash Karoga of Purdue. Balwig in on a shot here for the Iowa Hawkeyes against
and Pearsall as well. Pearsall in on a shot.
Ridge Kelly did a good job staying away from that from that takedown by Balwig. So Ridge Kelly doing a good job there for Nebraska.
Yep. Pearsall in trying to get his head under his opponent's leg. Pearson rolls through. Pearsall still got his head down on the mat now. That's again, but he's trying to pick him up. If he can just sit up and not roll all the way through. And now, it's still a scramble.
Well, a big scramble situation.
Yep. Nothing. Time runs out. No score between those two wrestlers. So it's a 1-0 score in favor of Nilsson from Purdue.
Graff won that. Dardane's got points at the end, but with over a minute of riding times for Tyler Graff, he wins 8-6.
Yeah, I need to go back and reverse that. I'm sorry. It's a 1-0 score in favor of Pearsall from Penn State.
Yeah, Pearsall leads Nilsson. Just got that escape early on.
Beginning
and
of the
cradle
period.
locked up. But, well, it's actually looks like he's trying to get a 2-on-long leg Turk, or he's riding tough on top, getting Nelson's legs all tied up, almost into a cross-body ride there.
Yep.
Up to his feet here is Nelson.
Pearsall's got that side headlock.
Yep, that side headlock. Almost looked like Nelson wanted to. Yeah.
And back to the mat.
That, doesn't he? Ramos leads 4-1. And Ballwig leading Ridge Kelly down there.
Yep, 5-1.
5-1.
50 seconds left in that match.
One Hawkeye leading 4-1, Ramos, and Ballwig up 5-1.
I'm not sure what our they're looking at the
replay.
Looking at the replay for some
video
reason.
Replay. Yeah.
Not quite sure what that's all about.
There's no time on the clock, so I'm wondering if there's.
Well, it was a question about the end of the period, but
something occurred at the end of the period there.
Minute 13 riding time for Ramos too down there. So.
Yeah.
And Pearsall Nelson looks like Nelson's in a scoring position here.
Well,
for the Boilermakers.
He gets a 2 reversal.
And Pearsall
he gets
picked up 2 or not. Kevin Tan's roughing it. And
just a 2 reversal, no back points.
Well, he was coming up the ladder. Looked like he might grab some back points too there.
So like Tan gave 2 1 counts, but didn't string 2 there.
about 45 seconds now left in that match. 2-1 in favor of Nilsson over Pearsall from Penn State. That'd be a big loss if Penn State lost Pearsall this early.
Nice cross-body ride there by Nilsson, trying to get the arm of Pearsall back. Some arm control. Just control him. He's got those hips high on that cross-body ride and really coming to controlling everything Pearsall wants to do. He's got his arms tied up too, so Ballwig wins, 6-1, I believe?
Yep, Mark Ballwig from Iowa, 6-1.
Pearsall's got 10 seconds here, 12 seconds to get out and tie this match.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get it done.
Nelson might score a big win here for Purdue.
Yep.
For the Boilermakers.
Nilsson had that cross face. No, he doesn't get it done. Nilsson wins. So
big win for
Brandon Nilsson from Purdue, redshirt sophomore.
The number 5 seed beats the number 4 seed. So Brandon Nelson doing a good job here for the Boilermakers. Out of West Lafayette, Indiana. That's where we were last year doing our Big Tens. So I'll have to look into the future and see where we land next year. But we've definitely landed in the spaceship, speaking of landing.
So we still got a 5-1 score in favor of Tony Ramos from Iowa over Cash Kuroga from Purdue. We're in the second period. About a minute left in that second period.
On deck on mat number 1, we have Denny Silverberg.
And trying to see what else we got. All the way across from us, gentlemen, is
match fit Rodriguez.
No, Pat Greco
versus
Nebraska. Nick Dardanes from Minnesota. That's scoreless with about a minute left in the third period. And just getting underway over here is Andrew Alton versus Jake Suflon from Nebraska. And Alton with an early 2-0 lead. And in front of us is
it's gonna be Grajales, it looks like.
Yep, Grajales and Ian Paddock from Ohio State.
And that was kind of a head scratcher for some people. Some people for Ohio State were expecting to see Tsari in there at 149.
Yeah.
But I know him and Paddock have been going back and forth throughout the years. So
yeah, Ian Paddock's good wrestler. We've watched him at the Midlands before. Paddock's tough. He's tough on top. Usually, he can ride you tough.
Early team standings: Penn State in the lead with 26 points. Ohio State second with 23.5, and Iowa third with 18. But I don't know that really means much, gentlemen.
At this stage,
got a bunch of buys and
host team Illinois in fourth, Michigan fifth, 14 points, and then Minnesota is in sixth with 7.5. And I would think Minnesota would be in the team race before it's all over. I would imagine, but
yeah, I think we'll get more of an accurate here after this round.
Quarters and the semis, and you start getting some of that stuff happening, and then the points really start adding up real fast.
Absolutely. So
4, it'll be the 5th seed from Indy.
Let's see what we've got here.
It'll be Taylor Walsh. He'll face the number
It looks like
Match
Alton,
number 52.
Yeah, it looks like Alton up 2-1 over Souflon. Both wrestlers on their feet. Alton going in for a takedown, but Souflon counters him.
Souflon's real fast.
Trying to sit through, sort of switch him. Alton's got his arms across his body and his legs, and he gets a 2.
So it goes up 4-1 now for Souflon.
Yep.
Alton does, one of the 2 Alton brothers wrestling for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Just kind of covered his opponent's hips and drove into him, and just kind of coming up the ladder and got that secured. Inside stand up there by Souflon as they go out of bounds.
If this Ramos match doesn't get over soon, the heavyweights will be out of here. We'll be breaking to go to lunch. It's still 1 minute and 18 seconds.
The video replay really pushed that out.
Yep, Ramos up 7-3. Both wrestlers on their feet. Ramos with a minute and 20 seconds of riding time, so really in control here.
Outside single attempt there. Cash Karoga did a good job stepping out of that outside single attempt there.
Of course, Ramos here is going to be wanting to get a takedown here.
Karoga in on his own shot. Karoga's into it twice deep, but Ramos fought it off. So
Souflon with the takedown here against Alton.
So tied it up.
Yep, 4-4. In the 44 seconds left in the first period.
Now Ramos in on a shot, but Cash Karoga, I've been impressed. He's finishing strong. He's had 3 of the last 4 shots. Got in deep on Ramos's leg once, but
he looks big at 33 too.
Cash Karoga he's good. He's strong looking. He just looks powerful, and he just paid off. Picks up Ramos and throws him down. Gets 2 points.
And he cuts him. 27 seconds left.
8-5. Maybe we were just talking about how powerful he looks. He picks Ramos up in the air, throws him down, gets the takedown. 8-5. Riding time in favor of Ramos too, but Karoga just a little bit too late here, probably. I'm going to guess. But
yeah, only 10 seconds left in this match.
He's going to have to take Ramos to his back. I've watched Cash Karoga over his career though. He's tough. He's a banger. He works hard, man. He's tough.
Ramos in that head, but he's going to run out of time.
Ran out of time, but he was kind of working Ramos at the end there.
Yep. Ramos with an 9-5 win over Cash Karoga.
Karoga's tough. I won't want to be the guy to get him on the on the backside.
Ian Paddock here at Ohio State just took down the top seed, Eric Grajales of Michigan here. Looks like Eric Grajales is going to be looking for a reversal here, and it's probably just going to end up with an escape. That's at 149 pounds.
Yep. So they go out of bounds.
And then Grajales, some people think he's getting
into the TV guys.
Yeah, over aggressive as they hit some camera equipment going out of bounds.
Nick Dardanes with a 5-0 lead early in the second period over Greco from Northwestern. And we have a 5-5 score down here between Alton and Souflon from Nebraska.
Good match.
Both wrestlers on their feet. 1 minute and 45 seconds into the second, or left in the second period.
Cornhuskers really come out fighting. Seems like their guys have really put on some good matches. And Coach Mark Manning and Brian Snyder in the corner for Cornhuskers.
Yep.
So we got Cale Sanderson in the corner there for Penn State. Pardon me.
That
was then. This is now.
That's right.
The 8th seed at 149 pounds is going to take that 2-1 lead starting into the second period here against Eric Grajales.
Yeah, and we've got Dylan Ness out there against Caleb Irvin from Illinois. Irvin with an early takedown.
Has Ness in trouble
on his back.
And he gets Ness in trouble.
Two back points and almost tilts him a second time.
Wow, big takedown there.
Yeah, so Irvin with a big 4-0 lead in the first period.
Irvin really looking good here. Caleb Irvin, red shirt freshman. 18-9.
Oh, Alton shoots for a takedown. Souflon counters. Nothing yet. Big scramble. Souflon, if he can get his arm there. There's a takedown
in the lead.
He's now up 7-5. 52 seconds left in the second period.
So a big takedown there for Nebraska. Alton getting behind here, 7-5.
Yeah, Alton's a 5 seed. Souflon's a 4 seed.
Grajales still leading here 4-3. Or trailing, actually. Grajales now trails.
Yeah.
The number one seed.
Number one.
Ian Paddock. Paddock has the lead 4-3.
And Caleb Irvin from Illinois, I mean, he's riding Ness tough. He's got tough. 1 minute and 33 seconds of riding time. Got his legs all tied up, trying to turn Ness again.
I thought he was going to pin him off that initial takedown. He had Ness as dead center, boy. He had him on his back. Good-looking red shirt freshman, too.
And Paddock gets out for an escape, and he's up 5-3 now over Gray Hollis. And it's 7-5, Soufflon over Alton, and that's at the beginning of the third period.
Hollis being the #1 seed, boy, you got to feel he's got to feel a little bit of urgency. We're still second period, 24 seconds to go in the second period.
And Ness trying to kick out, finally gets free, trying to kick out, but Irwin's doing a good job of hanging onto those legs.
Yeah, he is. There's a kick out by Ness, so 4-1 now. Now that he's got a little bit of open area to attack.
Oh, but he shucks, but Irvin shucks Ness by at the very end. Did he get a takedown out of the deal?
Oh, he did. He did not. Ness getting out, though, with 20 seconds left is huge. That's a big point to end the period with.
Yeah.
You don't want to start the second down 4-0.
I'll tell you what, Hollis, the #1 seed, trails 7-3, and he's coming back to the middle of the circle real slow.
Yeah, real slow.
He either got dinged or he's tired. One of the two.
Yep, and that's that second period just winding down, so that'll be a 73 lead for Ian Paddock going into the third.
And Paddock's wrestling a good match here against the #1 seed for Ohio State.
Grajales does have a choice to start the third. He is going to start down.
Yep. And here's Alton over here. Soufflon with another takedown.
Another takedown. That's huge for Nebraska.
Yep. Soufflon now 9-6 lead with 1 minute and 21 seconds left in the match against Alton from Penn State.
3-point lead for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So
Grajales is going to get the escape, cut his deficit down there to 3 points, 7-4.
Yeah, so Grajales gets out.
Right now, the 8th seed, Ian Paddock, is leading the top seed, Eric Grajales, at 149 pounds.
Be big for the Buckeyes if they could defeat the #1 Michigan Wolverine here.
And
Grajales.
Nick
Ness has closed it up 4-3 at 1 point match, and he has Irwin in trouble.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to get some
Ness has them all tied up in the cradle.
Yep.
Yeah, Irwin doing a good job staying out of it.
He's doing a good job fighting it off, but
man,
the ref is holding.
That looks painful, doesn't it?
Ness is going to crank him back over again.
He's got that crossover.
I think he's got him now. I think he's got him.
I
don't think he can kick out of this one. Ness has got him pretty tight.
Man, Irwin trying to get out of that situation.
He's got one shoulder up, and Ness is not in a real good position to put enough weight on to get it down. There's a minute left. That's a long time to hang in that spot.
Boy, I tell you what, he's just got to settle in there and kind of rock him with it.
Oh, there it is.
There he got him.
And Ness with the big ball.
Ness for slow start finishes strong with a big pin over Caleb Irvin of Illinois. Just when we thought the redshirt freshman was going to keep up with that sophomore.
Yep. And as time winds down over here on mat #1, it's going to be Jake Soufflon with a 10-6 win over Alton from Penn State.
That's big for Nebraska and tough for Penn State. So Soufflon looking good there for Nebraska. Sophomore Jake Soufflon beats the #5 seed. Soufflon, though, was the #4 seed, so he was seeded higher, but he won.
30 seconds left in the match right in front of us between Gray Hollis from Michigan and Paddock from Ohio State. Paddock's still up 7-4. Both wrestlers on their feet.
And in on the shot is Paddock.
Yep, good
outside single.
Best defense is a good offense.
We're switching to a double here.
So with 9 seconds left, looks like Paddock's going to win this match. Big win for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
It's big for the Buckeyes. Ohio State pulls off the big first #1 seed going down as Eric Grajales by Ian Paddock. Paddock wins. It's going to be big for Ohio State. That'll definitely help them in the team score, Chad Chris.
Yep.
And can knock off the #1 seed. And
Ivan Lupinchowski from Purdue versus Dan Osterman from Michigan
State. Tied up 0-0 down there between Lupinchowski and Osterman.
And we've got the other Alton brother, Dylan Alton. He's wrestling Josh Demas from Ohio State University. And that match is 0-0 early in the first period. And on the other mat down here, it's this one's a little further along. Taylor Walsh from Indiana and James Green from Nebraska. Taylor Walsh with the, nope, I'll take that back. Green with an early 4-1 lead. About a minute gone in the first period.
Green is just that. He wears the green anklet, so that'll help us a little bit when your name's the same as your anklet.
Green is green. That's helpful.
So, yeah.
And we've got Derek St.
St. John.
Derek St.
It is
John.
Derek St. John. Okay, I was going to say I thought I was in the wrong place. So we got Derek St. John, number 1 ranked wrestler, number 1 seeded wrestler as well, from Iowa. He's wrestling against Zilverberg, Danny Zilverberg from Minnesota.
I got to watch his dad wrestle back in the day, Zilverbergs, or an uncle. We've had other Zilverbergs back in the day wrestle for the Michigan Gophers.
I believe St. John's coming off a pretty hairy loss at the national duels there. He lost against Missouri. It's, someone kind of questionable. He was undefeated at the time.
Yeah, so, Kurt Backus told us earlier this morning that, you just got to put those behind you, and they've just continued their focus on the ultimate goal here of winning a Big Ten title and then going on to win a national title. So James Green now up 6-1.
He's fast and furious. Looking good down there.
He is. He's a very quick wrestler. He kind of reminds you a little bit of Jordan Burroughs with that quickness.
Same school, he probably rolls with him maybe a little bit. I'm not sure how that works over there.
I'll bet that's just a quick match, huh?
Yes.
That's like back in the day when Nate Gallick and Tion Ware would go at it. It was just
some
like
of the fastest.
two
I was just thinking about those
battles.
I was just thinking of those Tion Ware Nate Gallick matches the other day, and I thought those were 2 of the quickest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life.
Yep, absolutely.
I did play-by-play on those, and boy, it kept you busy. You had to talk fast, so.
I think we're
and some of them were 1-0, but
we see
big takedown or not? Oh, Kevin Tan says they got out of bounds.
Went off the mat, so no
momentum
takedown
took him out of bounds.
Yeah. So that was
like Alton.
Demas in on a big takedown with Alton, but they rule him out of bounds, and so both wrestlers back to the center, 0-0 in that match.
Sure, Demas would like to pick off Alton, so it'd be a big win for him. Ohio State's already had the big number 1.
And St. John with the
number 1 seed.
Steve. St. John with a takedown over Zilverberg here in front of us. St. John now 2-0.
St. John, I believe, with a fall his first match, so picking up some bonus points for the Iowa Hawkeyes was Derek St. John for Iowa. Green up 6-2 now, down on match number 56.
Yeah. And looks like Lupinchowski
up 1-0, I believe.
Yep.
Against Osterman. Ivan Lupinchowski.
Lupinchowski and Osterman, second period just winding down. Green's match down here against Walsh, just winding down in the second period. I'm sorry, the other one was winding down in the second period as well.
St. John up 2-0, a minute and 10 seconds of riding time. So St. John got the initial takedown and tight waist ride here, kind of a spiral ride here. Is St. John, tight waist, ankle ride.
So Green over Walsh 6-2 at the beginning of the third period. Lupinchowski 1-0, 1-1 now against his opponent at the end of in the beginning of the third period, and 0-0 score between Alton and Demas. Sorry about that.
Demas did start down to start the second, or to begin the second period there.
And they're wrestling right in front of the Ohio State fans. And they can make some noise. They liked it when Grajales was defeated.
And St. John with a big reversal on Zilverberg. St. John takes a 4-0 lead early in the second period.
Lupinchowski looks like he's in trouble down there against Osterman. Osterman really trying to cut the corner here on Lupinchowski.
He's got that leg, and he's going to have to turn into him. I don't know that he's going to.
Lupachansky doing a good job trying to turn it into just like a gator roll, a shoelace to shoelace situation.
No, he comes out in the positive situation.
Oh, trip, and they go out of bounds. So nothing there. Still tied up 1-1. Osterman looked like he was going to get the advantage, and Lupachansky brought it to a neutral situation, got the single leg up in the air, and the momentum was the difference, getting that out of bounds. Green in on another 2 or not?
I think so, yes. He's up 10-3 now with 30 seconds left in that match, so it looks like Green's going to advance.
Looks like Demas over here did get an escape against Alton, and he does lead 1-0 with under a minute left in the second period. Alton does have 23 seconds of riding time on the clock.
St. John up 4-0, about a minute left in that second period. St. John on top, riding tough. He's got 2 minutes and 15 seconds of riding time.
Green intentionally releases Taylor Walsh from Indiana, the Hoosier.
And Green needs a takedown to get the major decision here.
Yeah, 10-4.
He's got 14 seconds. He's going to have to go if he's going to try to get it.
Yeah, he's got to get some. He's going to try to get some bonus points if he can. Walsh doing a good job. Yeah,
but nope. Looks like time's going to run out. 11-4 score for James Green after the 1 point riding time.
Green will start down. Walsh on top. St. John's riding tough down here. 2 minutes, 41 seconds of riding time. Over Zilverberg. Zilverberg just needs to get up and out. He just can't get past his base. He's had some nice set outs, but a lot of hip-to-hip riding here by St. John.
Yep. And as the second period comes to a close, we've got a 1-0 score in favor of Demas over Alton from Penn State. Alton now on the bottom to start the third period.
Still tied up between Osterman and Lupachansky from Purdue.
Alton gets to his feet twice, gets thrown back to the mat twice, gets to his feet a third time, and gets the escape.
Gets the escape, so he's tied that up with Demas.
Yep, so 1-1. A minute and 45 seconds left in the match.
So,
I was incorrect on that Green match. That wasn't the end. That was the end of the second period.
Green took down on third period, and Walsh riding on top. So he throws Green back down to the mat.
I'll have to get my whiteout out. I was premature on calling that one. St. John starts off on the bottom in the third period, but it looks like he's gonna be able to turn the corner and get out.
Zilverberg's had a situation sometimes in scramble, Chad Chris, where you got to bail out every once in a while, but good recovery here.
He's hanging tough. Zilverberg hanging on an ankle.
Shoelace to shoelace, kind of going in a gator roll. Now, Zilverberg doing a good job maybe coming out the back door, but St. John's just covering Zilverberg so tough on top that potentially dangerous. Yeah, on those knee. Can't take those joints the wrong direction there.
We do have a tied match over here between Demas and Alton, 1-1. About 45 seconds left. Riding time is not a factor.
Good match. What you see is what you get down there. No riding time, like you say. Chad Chris.
Yep. Demas with the 6th seed here and Alton with the 3rd seed.
Yeah, I believe Alton's brother went down just the last round. Is that correct? Yeah, so to Schuflon.
That'd be a big old...
although Schuflon was the number 4 seed, but I'm sure Alton would have loved to win that last one. That'd been Andrew.
Yep.
This is
Dylan.
Heavier of the two, Dylan. It's a 157-pounder.
Yeah, that'll be a big pothole in Penn State's road to the championship. If
there's an ankle pick attempt there by Alton, ankle attempt. But
10 seconds left in this match, 1-1. Both wrestlers standing on their feet, just tied up. Probably nothing going to happen until the whistle blows. We'll go to overtime.
Alton looks a little stronger and stockier. Demas is kind of tall and lean for that weight class.
Demas keeps going for these ankle picks here, and just with his length, and I can imagine that all those long arms. Probably seen a couple of those in the Penn State room.
Watch some Cal Sanderson.
And St. John
Sanderson video highlights.
St. John with a 4-1, 5-1 riding time win.
Oh, Demas gets a takedown right to the back.
No.
Oh, they wave it off.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, big recovery there by Alden.
That was reaction time.
I'll tell you what, those guys know how to scramble.
Demas had him dead center and got out of that.
Demas
Alton
had an
did.
inside trip right to the back, and I don't know how Alton bounced out of that.
Tom Ryan wants points. He's holding it up.
He was planted. I even looked like Kevin Tan was starting to count back points.
Yeah, and if he was starting to count back points, he had to give him the 2. He did look like he was, and then Tan waved the whole thing off. But if he was going to move his hand at all, it had to be a takedown. I don't quite understand that.
Tom Ryan had to get up there and talk to him about it and say, "Hey, what's up?"
They're going to go to the video and we'll see how this all turns out.
Alton went directly from his back to his feet.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that.
It's like he bounced and he came right up to his feet. I mean, I'll tell you what, the Sanderson boys have those guys trained how to get out of those scramble situations, don't they?
Because a lot of that stuff's spontaneous. Green was victorious down here, by the way, for Nebraska, so he'll move on, and he'll meet St. John in the semifinals.
Yep, we've got the number 2 seed, Jason Welch. No, I'll take that back. I lied. 50-61. We've got Taylor Massa from Michigan versus Pierce Harger from Northwestern here in front of us. They're at 165 pounds.
And we're still back at 149 pounds between Osterman and Lupinchansky. They're still tied up 1-1 down there.
And
so that sudden victories going on between Osterman and Lupinchansky.
So Kevin Tan, the referee, comes back out after watching the video and says no takedown. So both wrestlers start with 45 seconds.
And Demas starts right in on a shot. You know, it's right off the whistle. Boy, he jumped right in there.
His first motion.
Another shot. So
Alton tried to counter a little bit, but nothing there.
I'll tell you what. Good match for 1-1. I mean, there's been a lot of action. Counter by Alton, Demas with the shot. So
and they go out of bounds.
Seems like Alton's shots are a little bit more push and shove, where Demas seems to have a little bit more substance. With those long arms Chad Kriz mentioned earlier, it seems like he can penetrate with that reach that he's got. He's got kind of a reach advantage.
Demas with another shot.
Boy, that inside trip again. There it was.
Going for another inside trip there, and he didn't get it.
Demas was, that is. So.
Time's going to run out. We're going to go to the ride-out. Victory ride-outs.
Kevin Tan throws it up. Ohio State gets the choice. Coaches say take down to Demas. So Demas will start down, Alton on top.
Demas did get out in 20 seconds last time. Let's see if he can top that.
We do have Cody on from Minnesota and Nick Moore down here on the other match.
Yeah, that's Minnesota, Iowa. Be good for the team race.
Looked like there was a real possibility for a switch there, but Alton kind of came right on through with him. 22 seconds left in the period. Both wrestlers back to center. Demas with the whizzer. Tries to get to his feet, and Alton takes him back to the mat.
Good hip control there by Alton.
Alton's in a real good spot now to ride him out. 9 seconds left.
He's covering him like a blanket right now. He just stayed right on top of him, right in parallel kind of. A lot of pressure on his lower back.
So Alton rides him out for the entire 30 seconds.
It's a 30-second ride out.
So Demas has got a choice now. He's either got to try to ride him or he's got to try to cut him quick and take him down.
It's going to be tough to see if he can get that range or not, but
I think it's going to be hard for Demas to ride him.
Yeah, I do too. Alton's short and powerful, but we'll see, you know. I mean, he's got the reach advantage, real tall. He kind of reminds me of St. John, really.
Yep. And that is a situation.
He throws the legs in right away.
He's smart as long as he doesn't get too high.
He's pretty high. He's in a little bit of a precarious position.
You get those legs in, you don't want to get high or you're in trouble.
He adjusts and he kicks these grapevine with the legs in on
He's got him in a grapevine.
Turn Alton. Yeah, he does.
He's got him in a grapevine.
Yeah.
So he's got Alton's head
and a half Nelson. So
if nothing else, it'll go full 30 seconds, and we'll go to another one.
Ride him out. So yeah, there you go. Ride out.
Boy.
Good job by Demas getting those hooks in and getting the grapevine.
And it looked like he was high, and he managed to adjust and.
Might have been those long legs he got. He's just able to settle back in there real good, you know.
So we're now back up.
Sorry to not cover some of this other, but this
was
like
pretty
a
exciting.
match.
Absolutely. So 55 seconds left in the second sudden victory overtime period. Both wrestlers on their feet.
Yon picking up back points against Moore of Iowa. So.
And over here on mat one, we do have Taylor Massa against looks like Pierce Harger of Northwestern.
For the Wildcats of Northwest. Lupinchansky and Osterman, guess what, guys? They're still wrestling. We're still down at 140.
Demas with the inside trip. He catches Alton on his back, and I think he's going to hit him.
In trouble.
No, but he gets the win.
Demas with a big win there.
Boy.
Big win there for Demas.
Third time was a charm on that inside trip.
Man, I tell you what, he kept going to that move, going to that move, going to that move. Like you said, Jeff Murphy, third time's a charm. He got him caught up, and he's good with that inside trip and body lock. He just kind of gets up there and gets those hands locked. And
that was an explosive move.
You had fans in here standing and clapping that aren't even wearing the two colors.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're too good not to hear, Chad.
Absolutely. I mean, that was just an outstanding match and just an outstanding final move.
That was good.
So both of the Alton boys go down.
Both of them, you know. And according to seeds, really, Schufon was favored slightly, but Dillon was definitely supposed to win that one for Penn State. But Demas, so really, when you think of it, it's the Ohio State Buckeyes that are pulling off the upsets.
Yep.
You know, Paddock beating number one Grajales, and now Demas. So, but
back to that one here with Taylor Massa. He is a true freshman, which is kind of surprising. Last year he was the Dave Schultz High School Excellence Award winner, which that award I believe does go to the top high school wrestler.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So Lupinchansky's still out there on the far side.
That's got to be. Oh man!
And
it's the hour-long match down there.
Yeah. So Osterman's on top, 2-1. Somewhere in one of the overtime periods, looks like we're close to the end. Got a blood timeout again.
Because we're clear up at 165 pounds.
Yep.
Cody Owen.
Yep. So we got Cody Owen and Nick Moore. Yep. 0-0 at the beginning of the third period. Or excuse me, 3-3.
Yeah, tied up.
Third period.
Yep.
I think it's David Taylor down here on the other.
Yeah, Taylor getting up, and actually Taylor gets taken down. I believe.
David Taylor gets taken down.
Guess who? An Ohio State Buckeye.
Absolutely, Mark Martin from Ohio State. Taylor immediately gets a takedown.
Somebody needs to see what the Buckeyes, what container they're drinking the Gatorade out of, and get over there and get some more of that Gatorade. Because they're drinking out of the right cooler, I can tell you right now. Taylor trails, you ready, to the Ohio State Buckeye, 2-0.
2-1.
2-1, pardon me, Mark Martin.
So that match we'll come back to. Let's look across. So just to set the stage, this I've got to go back so many pages, Steve. I don't even remember where we're at.
Yeah, 149. Lupinchansky against
Osterman now. Lupinchansky is behind 2-1. It's a final ride-out period, I think, of the overtime.
In real time, that's taken half an hour.
So, and
now he's up and out, though.
Yep. So it's tied 2-2.
So Lupinchansky's out.
But here's the deal. Right now,
we've interviewed him. He's Russian. He loves throws. He's told me that. He likes upper body.
The clock. And the riding time's messed up because it ran the wrong way.
Oh, no. So it's got to be 3 seconds.
To get that sorted out.
It's got to be 3 seconds in favor of Osterman then. Because Lupinchansky got out right away for Purdue.
Well, so we'll see here. There's
Osterman for the Michigan
16
State
seconds.
Spartans.
It looks to me, it looks like Osterman's got the lead in the riding, or it's tied, but he's got the riding time, so Lupinchansky's got to take him down.
Well, and he's in on a shot, but they go out of bounds.
Yeah, so 10 seconds left. Both wrestlers on their feet back to the middle. Lupinchansky's got to take him down or he loses the match.
By the way, Taylor got the takedown, went up 3-2, so Lupinchansky just throwing it all against the wall there.
Yeah.
He knows he's got to, so
Osterman's
trying to take Jan down.
Nick Moore just scored a takedown over Jan.
It's huge for Nick Moore there. Cody Jan.
16 seconds left in the third period. Nick Moore's going to win that one. So Osterman from Michigan State beats Lupinchansky.
He's the number 2 seed.
Yep, number 2 seed. Osterman number 7.
Osterman wins. So Osterman beats Lupinchansky and Moore beats Cody Jan. So you hear the Hawkeye fans in the background. They're happy. Nick Moore moves on to the semifinals. Taylor's up 8-2 now over Mark Martin, so Taylor's back in the driver's seat.
This will be about number 65.
That's number 61.
Yeah, we're going to see Jason Welch all the way across from us. Jason Welch is going to be facing Ryan Watts from Michigan State University.
Pierce Harger is Taylor Moss's opponent.
Yeah. We got Northwestern on 2 of the mats.
Moss, I believe, leads. He does 5-2 over Harger. Pierce Harger of Northwestern.
And we've got 63.
Massa starts down, Harger on top.
So Logan Storley, your number 1 seeded wrestler, also number 1 ranked wrestler in the country out here right now. He's going to be facing, I don't know, who is he facing? Michigan. Facing Dan Yates from Michigan.
Taylor's up 9-2. Mark Martin in on a shot for Taylor, but it's one thing to get a shot, it's another thing to finish it. And Taylor gets his own 2 points. So David Taylor gets another 2 for a takedown, 11-2 now.
I think that first takedown might have woken up.
Yeah, okay, well, let's go then.
Kind of like that cold water I threw on Steve this morning to get him.
Yeah, that's right. Get me out of bed, huh? Say, come on, old man, let's go. You got another tournament to do.
Was that before or after Steve was doing jumping jacks?
Yeah,
that's right.
Thank goodness, no.
Okay, we won't go into that.
We won't go there.
Chad Chris, please. Don't.
So Taylor Massa wins
You
his
just
match.
destroyed my brain right now. Inside stuff there, guys. But I'll tell you what, Logan Storley gets the, does he get the takedown? He gets taken down.
Yeah,
so.
Yates is ahead of him 2-0.
Yates takes down the number 1 seed, the number 1 ranked wrestler in the nation. So we saw that with Taylor, too, over here.
Yeah.
On mat number 2, and that didn't last long. We'll see how long it lasts here with Storley possibly, but Michigan wrestler there. Storley's out, so it's 2-1. 33 seconds to go in the first period.
Taylor's up 11-2 now with 27 seconds left in the second period.
Yeah, he's looking tough on top, Taylor is. And
Taylor's getting stall calls on his opponent right now, so 12-2.
Match number 58. So that mat number 3 is going to be behind a weight class.
Yep.
Thanks to our good friends Osterman and Lupenchansky. The match, it just kept going, wasn't it?
It was long.
So,
all right, so we got Ryan LeBlanc from
58.
Indiana and Conrad Pols from Illinois right down here in front of us. And
could be good. LeBlanc had a good, solid win his first match, and Pols is a real steady performer for Illinois.
Yeah, and Welch and Watts, Northwestern and Michigan State, respectively, 0-0 with about a minute and 30 seconds in the first period.
Conrad Pols looked like he should have had this takedown, but LeBlanc does a real good job blocking Pols off. And one of the highlights of Condare, he gets the takedown for Illinois. Conrad Pols does over LeBlanc. So 2-point takedown for Conrad Pols. Jeremy Hunter, Mark Perry in the corner for Illinois, and Dwayne Goldman and Nick Simmons, the East Lansing Strangler, in the corner for we got a tech fall, I believe, down there for Mr. Taylor. Is that right?
Yeah.
So some bonus points going there for David Taylor. So Penn State has another semifinalist here.
With almost 4 minutes of riding time.
Yeah.
He gets Iowa Hawkeye in the semifinals, Nick Moore.
Yeah.
So they could be in the team race by then, obviously.
So we go into the second period down here between Logan Storley and I forgot who he's wrestling.
Michigan?
Yep, Dan Yates.
Yep,
Sorry, Dan Yates.
Michigan.
Storley takes the up position. Yates kicks out and gets an escape early. So Yates is now ahead 3-1 over Storley.
I think we're going to have another good Ohio State-Penn State matchup over here on mat 3 between Matt Brown and Nick Heflin.
Yeah.
Well, that ought to be a real
yeah,
match.
it could be good, you know. Could be real good. Conrad Pols still leads LeBlanc here 2-0, 43 seconds ago. 1 minute and 4 seconds riding time for Conrad Pols. Pols maybe the highlight of his here, even though he came up a little short, is that big 5-point move I heard he had on David Taylor at the duels. Threw David to his back and almost pinned Taylor. Pols did, but
that had been a big talk of the town.
yeah, and it almost happened, you know. I didn't get to see it. I know Hunter, Jeremy Hunter talked about a little bit in her interview earlier today. But
So Dan Yates from Michigan wrestling a really good match against Logan Storley. Yates up 3-1 with a minute left in the second period.
Yates looking good. He's a redshirt junior, so he's got a lot of sophomore against a junior down there. Storley being a sophomore. Well, when you think about it, Logan Storley's had a good year, and he's just a sophomore. So Yates is strong. He looks very physical for a 174-pounder. Of course, as you get these higher weights, you get into guys that usually a little bit more physical.
I think over here between Ohio State and Penn State, Heflin and Brown kind of have similar builds.
Yeah, they do.
Demas and Alton there.
Yeah, they were opposites, really. Heflin still might have a little reach factor here, but you said it right, Chad Cruiser. A lot of similarities as far as their builds go.
You know, really quickly, there's some other real interesting things going on around the country today. We got the EIWA matches started last night in their big tournament, and Navy finished after the first round ahead of Cornell.
Cornell did pull ahead, though.
Yep.
Did they pull it out?
Yep, Cornell came after the semifinals. Cornell had about a 7, 8, 10-point lead. Cornell, I think all 10 of their wrestlers still alive in the 3 in the championship round and 7 in the consolations. So that match should be, or that tournament should be just getting started out on the East Coast.
Storley still trailing Yates. Yates from Michigan leads the number 1 seed 3-0. Going into third and final period.
Oh, hey, now I can hear people.
Yeah. Storley right now up to his feet, trying to get his hands broke. Yates riding tough here, Jeff Murphy. He gets it. Storley gets out, makes it a 1-point match. It's 3-2 now.
So over here we've got Brown in on a takedown, but he's on the edge of the mat. He hasn't quite got it, and they go off the edge, so no takedown. So
between Heflin and Brown. So back to the middle. Brown runs back to the middle. He's set and ready to go.
We're trying to make some fine-tunement adjustments here to the sound system.
As far as the volume goes.
So hopefully that maybe makes things a little better.
They were fighting the crowd today.
Okay. A lot of background noise.
Yep.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, well, we apologize to listeners at home. We got to get this thing all set where we need to be. I'm going to crank mine just a tiny little notch here. There we go. All right, so I think we've got everything sorted out where we need to be now, and so again, we apologize for any distortion for those of you at home, and we're glad that you're with us here at the Big Ten Championships in Champaign, Illinois. Here in the 174-pound matches, so we've got Matt Brown taking on Nick Heflin from Ohio.
Granby roll right off his feet is Heflin. Man, they are in a body lock. Somebody might be going down here. I'll tell you what.
But Heflin's all the way behind him.
Oh, man, that made my shoulder blade sore. Just watching that configuration.
The referee gives him 1 because he didn't know what else to give him. So it's now 1-0 in favor of Heflin.
He almost could have called that a standing reversal. He was behind.
Yeah. He could have if they went to been. I think going out of bounds was the difference maker there. Going out of bounds at the edge of the mat. So, but Heflin ends up getting the 1 point, so he leads now 1-0. So, Ohio State's kind of been the giant slayers here in this round, you know. And
I think our audio is a little bit better there, Jeff Murphy. We've got listeners at home.
Yeah,
chiming in, telling us.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. And again, we apologize for that. We've had a
Storley's almost on his back. Yates Yates beats him. The number 1 seed goes down. Logan Storley goes down to the number 8 seed, Dan Yates of Michigan. So huge win there by Yates over the sophomore sensation.
So where one door closes with the Alton boys both going down to Penn State, another door opens up if Matt Brown can win this match because this match with Heflin, because the Heflin-Brown winner will take on Yates. So instead of the number 1 seed, they're going to get the number 8 seed.
So the redshirt junior from Michigan pulls off a big win there. Dan Yates from Michigan beats the number 1 seed, Logan Storley. And Yates is real strong. I think he was just physically strong enough. He could match Storley, looks like anyway. Chad Kriz with his strength. So Storley just, I think, is used to just overpowering people. Yates is a real specimen. He's a burly-looking kid. A few times that Storley went in there, and I'm sure he's used to overpowering his opponents. Yates just either neutralized it or scored points off of it himself. So
I agree with that.
So, good win there by Yates for Michigan.
Over here on mat 3, we do have Matt Brown getting an escape to start the third period. So him and Nick Heflin are tied at 1-1. Riding time is not a factor, although Matt Brown does have 33 seconds in his advantage.
Yeah, and on the far mat across the way, Jason Welch up 5-1 in his match against, I got to see who
Michigan State Spartan, and
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Welch
two
is
pages behind.
Yeah, they're way back.
And Welch wins that one 7-1 with an 8-1 with riding time.
8-1 with riding time. So Northwestern Wildcat, Jason Welch moves on and wins another match for Northwestern. He's won a few matches for the Wildcats over the years, you guys.
Yeah, one or two.
He's been a good one, hasn't he?
And down
out of
here,
the great state of California.
Oh, Matt Brown.
Brown in on a takedown, but he almost gets Heflin.
Big whizzer there.
Oh,
nice whizzer.
Brown comes out on top, and Heflin's on his back.
Oh, Brown's bearing down
point.
on him. He picked up some back points
Yeah.
as well, guys.
Absolutely. So 5-1, 6-1, 6-1. Matt Brown, 47 seconds left in that match.
Doesn't put a nail in the coffin, but that sure makes a mountain for Heflin to climb, don't it?
Yeah. And over
It
here on
almost
the
sealed the deal, I think, especially those back points. A lot of power moves there.
got another Welch out here. We've got Chad Welch
Yeah, we
from
do.
Purdue wrestling Mike Evans from Iowa. Evans up 4-1. With a minute and 45 seconds left in the first period.
Just getting started. Evans scoring fast and furious.
We got a good match starting here over between, looks like Robert Kokish and Jordan Blanton as well. Kokish the 3rd seed, Blanton the 6th seed.
Conrad Poltz does win 8-2.
Yep,
I think that included riding time over LeBlanc.
Heflin tries to get to his feet, and Brown throws him back to the mat, and Matt Brown's going to win this one 7-1 with riding time.
That's a big win over Heflin for Matt Brown. So just got into power struggle a couple times there. Brown with the big takedown and back points really was the difference maker there with about 42 seconds to go.
So Matt Brown, the 5
go on
seed,
against Yates.
Dan Yates, the 8 seed.
Yeah, but
in the semifinals.
So, but
sounds like
everybody's saying
Ruth
Ruth,
here, but Ed Ruth is stepping out on the
No.
mat. So.
reminds me of Lou Bannock.
I thought they were talking to Steve. I thought they were just
booing, huh?
Yeah.
Remember the Lou Bannock days when they do that,
Lou.
Jeff Murphy? Every 15,000 people show up and stand up and say Lou, and they thought they were booing Louie Bannock.
I don't remember those days.
You don't, do you, Chad?
You don't
Chris?
quite remember, do you,
Yeah.
Chad? Those are good days, though.
They were amazing for wrestling, weren't
Yeah.
they? Lou Bannock was a force. Probably one of the, if you include his weight, probably one of the greatest heavyweights in college there was.
Yeah, except
because he didn't weigh
except for
215, 220. You know?
one match when Big Dave
Osenbaugh. Dave Osenbaugh. Yeah, he looks at the camera and interviewed.
Caught Lou, put him on his back, and won the match.
And he
for the
says,
Cyclones.
Osenbaugh said he continued to tear me apart and was way ahead. And then he looks at the camera and he says with a smile, but we both know what happened. I still remember that interview. So, so that's been a couple days ago. There's been some water going under the bridge since there. So some of the old timers listen and hopefully you're enjoying it. I know the Hawkeye fans are enjoying what Mike Evans is doing. He's leading 4-1 right now over Chad Welch of the Purdue Boilermakers.
Yep, we've also got Ethan Lofthouse from the Hawkeyes out here at 184 pounds. He's wrestling against John Risquala from Michigan State University. That match is 0-0 with a minute gone in the first period.
Boy, the Bannock brothers. How many years did Ed go through the Big Tens without a loss? It was
Eddie was good.
It was a few years. He owned the Big Tens.
Yeah.
Ed Bannock did, the horse.
Eddie's a really good friend of mine today. Back in Ames, Iowa, and I tell you what, his matches against Mike Mann in the day.
Oh, Mike Mann, Perry Hummel,
Yeah.
Mark Schultz, and Bannock. You know, he was a banger. He just came after you. He didn't know how to back up. He just went forward, and he was full speed ahead. But am I stretching it to say he's one of the all-time big guys there ever was?
Oh,
in
absolutely,
college?
absolutely. He was just phenomenal.
And
here's,
Eddie the horse.
Here's another guy who's really pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, Ed Ruth, yep.
Ed Ruth takes his opponent, wraps him up, puts him on his back, scores the 3 tilt points. It's 7-1 now in favor of Ruth.
We'll go from talking about Ed Bannock to Ed Ruth. We'll just keep it in the Eds, huh?
Yeah, keep it in the Eds.
It doesn't even look like he's wrestling.
Yeah, it does seem effortless, Chad Chris. He just seems like he's just out there just having a lot of fun and a good time.
But you look at the scoreboard, and it's 7-1 already.
Yeah, I know it,
Yep. Looks like
too good not to hear, Chad.
Mike Evans has got a problem with a contact or something. It looks like
contact lens out.
I think so, because he's sort of looking around, but he says, "You know what? I'm just going to go on." And so he's up 5-1 with 1 minute and 12 seconds left in the second period. And Lofthouse still 0-0 on his match with about 35 seconds left in the first period.
I think Blanton's leading Kokish of Nebraska 4-1. Down there, too, for the Fighting Illini. So I'm sure Mark Perry and companies, I think Win Mahalik's in the corner there, too. Mahalik just having a good big match win against Jake Varner in a freestyle match. I watched that on the internet a couple of times. So Mahalik's making some noise on the freestyle.
Absolutely.
Right now. And then he lost to Zabriskie, though. His next match was Zabriskie, so.
Okay, and
big takedown there.
Lofthouse with a takedown over Rizquala, 2-0
for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Right at the end of the period, so 2-0 going into the second period for Lofthouse.
Blanton still leading 4-2 now for the Illinois. But boy, I tell you, Kokish really doing a good job trying to put Blanton on his back there. Evans up still 7-1 now, trying to get some bonus points for the mighty Hawkeyes.
And Ed Ruth going to cut his man. Mangrum from Ohio State.
Mangrum trying to do a knee tap and get his own, but boy, Ruth's just in there so quick.
Yep.
Seems like he knows where he's at. It's all about positioning for Ruth. He's so mat savvy.
Ruth grabs him and pulls him back on the mat, gets a takedown. Looks like he's going to release him again. If he can't, he looks like he's going to try to cradle him up, but if he can't, he's going to, takes him to his belly, going to ride him a little bit. I don't think so. I think Ruth says, I'm either going to stick here or I'm going to get out of here and go score some more points.
He was kind of pushing off him, waiting for him to come up because it looked like he was going to pounce on him and get that cradle.
Yep. Yeah. But Mangrum wouldn't bite on that, and referee called a stalemate.
We were just talking about Ruth's got a good winning streak. We think he hasn't lost since the Musha Stege match. Is that right?
Yeah, NCAA,
Stanford at Musha Stege. It's a couple years back, so he's on quite a run here. He might be on what we might call an Ed Bannock run here, huh?
Yeah.
Between the two, Ed Bannock was a banger. He was just tough. He's real strong and powerful. He just threw people. Ruth has some more finesse to him. He's got a little bit more mat savvy, but Bannock was all power. He just forced his issue on you.
Ruth might be one of the quickest big guys I've ever seen. He's just like a cat out there. And 184 pounds. That's what's amazing.
Up to his feet is the Ohio State wrestler.
Yep.
So
10-3 in Ruth's favor now. 35 seconds left in the second period.
Evans up 9-3. So
I'll tell you what, with some of the upsets we're seeing with these other teams, the Iowa Hawkeyes are putting themselves in a really good position right now.
Yeah, they can get some more of these wins going.
Especially with that win.
Donna had a win, but it's a close one. Yeah. Yeah, 49 is going to be huge for them.
They're doing just doing a really nice job today.
Lofthouse up 2-0. Wrestling a Michigan State Spartan. Last time they dueled Michigan and Iowa. I don't know if you guys saw on the internet, but those turned into some slugfest.
Yeah.
Did you see that on the internet? The Spartans said, hey, you know what? I don't think we're going to beat you at wrestling. Let's try boxing.
So Ed Ruth with another takedown late in the period. He goes into the third period with a 12-3 score. He's also got 3 minutes and 25 seconds of riding time. Ruth starts down to start the third period. That probably won't last too long.
And like Chad Chris said, he looks like he does it so effortless, you know.
Mangrum just trying to hang on. He's got it kind of locked up around his head.
Bulldog's side headlock kind of locked up there.
Ruth tried to roll through and nothing happened. They'll restart. Referee calls, I think, potentially dangerous.
Yeah, it looks like
Lofthouse is leading still 2-0. Yep. So Evans picks up bonus points.
Yep, Evans.
By the Hawkeyes, 12-3 for Evans.
So Lofthouse is leading, but he did get ridden out this entire second period.
And you know, technically, Rizagala actually is the favored wrestler down there against Lofthouse. Rizagala is the number 4 seed for Michigan State Spartans, John Rizagala. So the Spartan actually, technically, on paper anyway, he's higher seed.
And that was a pretty big question mark for the Hawkeyes there. They weren't, fans weren't sure who they were going to see in the tournament.
Yeah, maybe Grant Gambrill, I believe. He's been filling in for Iowa, if I'm correct, for a while here, Chad Kriz. So, yeah, that's true. Rizagala looks real strong. He's a physical wrestler, boy, I tell you. But Lofthouse is too, so I think Lofthouse won't mind turning it into an arm wrestling match if you could. Boy, they're just kind of going in a gator roll here to both opposite directions and kind of rolling around. Ruth in there deep, gets up and out, so gets another point.
Back in on the leg already.
Yep.
It's about time he got some points, huh?
Looks like he's sitting. Going to be a defensive
look at this.
from the neutral.
Almost.
He's just so quick. He's got so much flexibility, too. So Blanton does win.
I think if Kevin Tan was on the other side of that position there,
could have been a fall, couldn't it?
Now Ruth is
Kokish goes down to Blanton.
Ruth has got half Nelson in him with his leg.
With his leg. It's amazing. And he got back points for it. And there's the 3 back points. It's 18-3 now. That should be the Tech fall. And it is, and Ed Ruth with the Tech fall.
They aren't booing, they're just saying his last name, folks.
Minute left in the match. Ethan Lofthouse doing a great job of riding down here over Rizagala. He's erased all but 37 seconds of the riding time that he had. Rizagala rode him the whole second period, so.
It looks like Lofthouse might even get the ride out for the rest of this period, actually.
Good, yeah, that's right. Rizagala just needs to get up and out. I mean, Lofthouse has been on top of him just the whole time, so. Yep. The only difference between Ruth and Lou, I'm sure it gets 6,500 people saying Ruth at Penn State, but I remember 15,000 people saying Lou.
Yep.
Man, for Lou Bannock, that would have been Ed's larger brother, who was older. They were twins.
Yep.
Ed and Lou were actually twins, by the way, so.
So they just announced the team scores here. I have no reference point as to where they were through, but the Iowa Hawkeyes were on top over Penn State by about 5 points. So just as we thought, and down here on the far mat, it looks like Ethan Lofthouse is going to ride out
Rizagala.
Third period, and he's going to win that one.
That's the difference. I mean, Rizagala. Into Granby.
Up, he gets the escape.
Gets out, but 2-1. 1 second. He's in on a leg. Look at this.
But he didn't get it. Not enough time. He needed to start a little sooner.
Tell you what.
Lofthouse wins the match.
He almost gave that up. Lofthouse did.
Lofthouse lost a little focus there. Just kind of was taking a break and almost got caught.
Boy, daydreaming.
So another Hawkeye makes it through to the semifinals.
Rizagala goes down, the number 4 seed actually there. So.
And in front of us, we have Quentin Wright. Quentin Wright's wrestling Max Huntley from Michigan.
Quentin Wright is dangerous, likes to pin.
0-0 with a minute left in that first period in that Wright match. And over on the far side, I think that's Steinhaus. Steinhaus wrestling Sheridan from Indiana.
Okay.
Kevin Steinhaus now with an 11-0 lead in the first period.
Steinhaus looking good. He's 23-1 on the year coming in. He won his first match over.
Oh, Quentin Wright with a big throw. A big throw puts his opponent right to his back. He's got Hundley pretty tight, and I think he's going to get the fall.
Yeah.
Right with a big headlock. Almost didn't have it. He's squeezing tight.
I believe they're probably going to call that there.
There it is. There's
a big, fast pin by Wright and bonus points for Penn State. Man, that's a big headlock.
That looked almost like a judo throw there.
Yeah,
Wright had an overhook, and he was out on the side and kind of stiff-armed him in the chest and put him right on his back. It's pretty odd.
You get that headlock in that tight, you got the arm wrapped up, and can't bridge. Huntley couldn't bridge really in that situation.
No, it was just a matter of time.
Yeah, he just kind of settled in, Quentin did. So
we got Josh Innan down here from Nebraska against Tony Delago. And it is a 2-1 score for Einen from Nebraska. And just getting started over here is Brandon Atwood from Purdue versus Andrew Capolatano. I almost got that one right, didn't I?
Capolatano. That is a good one, isn't it?
Capolatano.
Capolatano. Capolatano's he's kind of been fighting the injury bug this year. He's 15-8, hasn't been in him for full time. Fine.
Popcorn.
Yeah, there you go. Trying to arrange some lunch
it's a little,
here, maybe. Yeah, a little refreshment
here because
it's been a long day already, but we've enjoyed it. Been feeding the soul, now we're going to feed the body, right?
That's exactly
feed
right.
The spirit, so
we got another Minnesota Golden Gopher out in front of us, Scott Schiller, the number 2 seed at 197 pounds. He's wrestling against
Hine, I believe.
Luke. Oh, I'm sorry, Jackson Hine. Yep.
Jackson Hine
from Wisconsin.
For the Badgers.
Got an injury time down here. Looks like
Schiller's the number 2 seed, like you say.
Einen down on the mat. They're looking at him. Looks like it's a knee or a...
Well, it'd be tough for Nebraska.
It looks like a knee.
It's his left one.
Yeah, that's not
left
good.
Knee for Einen.
So he's up 2-1 right now.
I've heard of Innen, and Einen.
Yeah.
So I'll ask the coach, and I guarantee you what'll happen. Tony Erzlin will say one thing, Mark Manning will say another thing, and Brian Snyder will give me another one. So
we'll just call him Josh. So
yeah,
Josh
we'll call him Josh Einen. I've heard. I think over the intercom they've been saying Einen. I think one time I asked him though, and he said it was Innen. Actually, after the tournament in St. Louis, or one of those, I said, "What is it?"
So we got Kevin Steinhaus over here. Kevin Steinhaus over Luke Sheraton, 14-1 at this point with another takedown.
Steinhaus has looked good, hasn't he?
16-1 tech fall for Steinhaus.
I think you got Storley, Steinhaus, and Schiller all in the practice room. You don't think those three guys don't feed off each other. Well, and then if they got the energy, they can go out and roll around with Tony Nelson. So I'll tell you, Minnesota's tough up high on the big weights, man. Those upper body guys. Those upper weights for Minnesota Gophers are extremely tough.
So Einen up to his feet. That's a good sign. Looks like he's going to be able to continue.
Talking to Coach Manning and Tony Erzlin out there. And it's good to see Craig Brister out there. We got to watch a lot of Brister back in the day.
Yep.
Wrestling for Nebraska. Real tough physical wrestler. He's a great wrestler for them. He won a lot of matches. The only tough thing for him, he showed up about the same time Jake Varner did.
Yep.
So, and him and Jake had some real good matches over the years. Olympic gold medalist, Jake Varner, that is.
So we're already up to the heavyweight division.
Yeah, we got heavyweight Tony Nelson out there.
Tony Nelson and Ben Applin going at it on the far side.
Just talked to Joe McFarland yesterday at the restaurant about Applin, and he said, we like what we got. He's a senior, though, I believe. Applin, he said he's going to graduate, and then they got a real good freshman coming in. They're going to try to redshirt, Joe McFarland said. But Applin, I saw him on his back for over a minute, probably a minute and a half at the Midlands, and it never got called. Do you know why?
Why?
They were out of bounds.
Well, that can do it.
Eric Thompson from the Grandview took him down, and Thompson had him on his back for over a minute, but they were outside the circle, and Eric couldn't quite pull him back in. But Tony Nelson's a pinner, too. Tony will take you to the back. So he's got that Tony half Nelson, we call it.
So down here, Delago gets an escape from Innen, but Innen turns right around, takes him down.
Yeah, inside trip.
So Innen up 4-2 now. 44 seconds left in the second period. And
escape here for Wisconsin,
from Ohio State in the other match is now up 4-3 over Atwood from Purdue.
Schiller and Hine are still tied up here 2-2. Schiller had the lead, but Hine from Jackson Hine from Wisconsin got the escape. It's 2-2 here. Minute 27 seconds to go in the second period.
Tony Nelson in on a nice takedown there on the other side.
Oh, on Applin?
Yep, goes up 2-0 on Applin.
Took Applin down.
You know, we rode up the elevator yesterday with Nelson. Nelson looks so big out on the map, but when you stood up next to me, he's
with
big,
his
but
street clothes on.
Giant,
he's not as intimidating looking with some street clothes on, but once he gets a single head on, boy, he's a big dude. He's tough on top. Ask Galagayoff.
Yeah.
How tough he can be on top. So, winning the big dual championship for Minnesota was Tony Nelson just not too long ago
Thank
up at
you.
Minneapolis.
Refreshments have arrived.
Thank you, Chad Chris.
Look, Chad even brought some kind of tacos
burritos
or
or tacos. Yeah,
oh, peanut. I can't do the peanut one. I'll do the fruit and trail mix.
Thanks a lot.
Hey,
Chad Chris doing a good job
we got
here.
lunch. That's a great deal. Steve-O, you want one of these? You can chomp.
Good.
Don't
Thanks.
chomp into the microphone, okay?
Yeah. Tony Nilsson with that takedown on Applin, now 2-0. 50 seconds to go in the first period, so he's so tough on top, Tony is, and kind of parallel rides, but he really works that upper body, puts a lot of pressure on the upper body, makes it tough for the opponent to do any type of cut the corner and try to get out. Let's see, and I believe Enan's still tied up. Am I correct down here? Match number 69. Enan and Delgado from Illinois, so we got Nebraska, Illinois. Enan and Delgado, 4-4, 1:44 to go in the third period. Enan recovered from his left knee getting injured there. He was down, looked like he was down for the count at the beginning of the match, but nice rebound here by Enan. Delgado with a shot, another shot there on the edge of the map, but they go out of bounds, so 4-4 is still the score, and no more for now, anyway. 5-3 is our score down here. Steinhaus won his match big time, so we'll put him into the semifinals. And this is going to determine who Steinhaus has in the semifinals, either Delgado from Illinois or Enan from the Nebraska Cornhuskers is going to determine what that is. So, yeah, bring up.
That'd be Tony Delago.
Yeah, Delago. Enan and Delago all tied up, 4-4. What is that, 25 seconds, I believe, Chad Chris, to go in the third period. So, see if they end up in the overtime or not.
Delago does have over 2 minutes of riding time in his favor.
Schiller and Hine. Now Schiller leads 5-2 over Hine, Jackson Hine of Wisconsin. So Schiller with the lead here. 53 seconds ago. Schiller, I think, he has 13 seconds of riding time and building a little. So out comes Delago, correct? So 6-5.
Yep.
With Enan in favor. 6-5, 10, that's it. Riding time also was in favor of Nebraska, correct? 2 minutes, 34 seconds riding time.
Yes.
So Enan wins. Enan wins. He'll move on to the semifinals for Nebraska.
That looks like Mario Gonzalez coming out on the mat for Illinois there. I believe he's going to take on Burak of Iowa, a 197.
Boy, Enan Steinhaus. That'll be a fun semifinal match. Schiller, I'll tell you what, Hines scored another point here. He's doing a lot of shooting, but a little bit too late. So Schiller moves on for Minnesota. He beats Jackson Hine. So Schiller moves on for the Gophers of Minnesota with a 5-3 win.
Looking at the heavyweight bout over there on mat 3 with returning national champ Tony Nelson and Ben Applin. If you didn't know the bout number there, you wouldn't think that those guys were heavyweights.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And Nelson actually is kind of lean, you know. He's just got a big frame. He's big boned, but
I believe he was a little bit bigger last year, though.
He
looks like he has
like
slimmed down some.
I think the exact same thing. I think that's exactly right. Man, Atwood and Capilotano, real good struggle down here, 7-6. And I believe Capilotano comes out on top. Is that correct? Yeah, so Capilotano, there he is. Capilotano comes out on top. 7-6 with a 1-point win for Ohio State. So the Buckeyes keep winning. I'm not sure how they're doing on team score. Of course, he was the number 4 seed. Atwood was the number 5 seed. So we got Mario Gonzalez, I believe, against Burrick.
Yep, that would be
Nathan
correct.
Burrick down here, Illinois and Iowa.
Yep. You got Telford. Oops. Let me turn my microphone on. You'll hear me a lot better if I turn it on.
Bobby Telford down there with the big guys, huh?
That's correct. Bobby Telford versus, I'm not sure who he's got. Michigan State. Versus Mike McClure. Yep, Mike McClure from Michigan State.
We mentioned true freshman earlier with Taylor Mosley. You also have that in Gabe Burak here at 197, which you don't really see that too often with
the big guys, the heavyweights.
Freshmen and the heavyweights.
Especially in the Iowa system.
Yep. Well, they've always kind of struggled at the 97-pound weight class for the last few years anyways.
Once Bannock left, huh?
Yeah.
Of course, I don't even know if it was that exact weight back then when Bannock was there. They've had some good ones. Goldman was a good sub-heavyweight, right before heavyweight. Dwayne Goldman for 40 years. He was good. And they had Full Heart was up there. Everybody probably remembers Lee Full Heart. He was a steady winner for him.
Looks like Telford's got a near side cradle locked up.
Well, I tell you, Bobby Telford's.
Two-point takedown right there.
No, he still doesn't call it, though.
Wow.
Telford up on a single leg now.
Because his opponent's hand was touching the mat. Is that correct?
Yeah, and he was behind with the near side.
Yeah, you're
up.
right.
Yep.
Chad Kriz.
But
there he gets
Telford takes him to the mat, gets a takedown.
Kevin Tan, quick to call it 2 there.
Telford's got a perfect build for a heavyweight. I mean, he's just tough and he's tall and he's got a lot of power. So Mario Gonzalez and Burrick still scoreless. Gonzalez, the number 3 seed. Nathan Burrick, the number 6 seed. Still scoreless.
Hey, you fellows ought to eat your lunch because it's pretty good.
Is it good? Yeah, I'm sure it is.
It's amazing what they can do with a tortilla, a piece of bologna, and a piece of cheese.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we can get these heavyweights done, then I'm going to try to become a heavyweight. Eat that food. So, man, that was a big tussle down here between Indiana and Nebraska. Down there, match number 77.
Yep, Connor Medbury from Wisconsin.
Man, they were in a do-or-die situation, weren't they?
Yep. Medbury from Wisconsin and Chalfont from Indiana.
Chalfont's had some good wins this year for Indiana. He had some, can't remember his opponents he beat earlier in the season, but I remember he came on my radar screen to keep track of it. He's done pretty good, Chalfont has. I tell you, Mark Perry was so upset. He really thought Mario Gonzalez was going to get the takedown, but Burke did a good job taking that action outside the circle, and Mario Gonzalez for Illinois was not able to secure that takedown.
So I think we've got all the matches
into the heavies,
championship round on the mats now because Jimmy Lawson from Penn State there on the far mat versus Mike McMullen from Northwestern.
McMullen and Telford, I think they were the number 1 and number 2 heavyweights coming out of high school to recruits just not too long ago. Seems like yesterday, but it's been a couple years back now already. McMullen and Telford, they had some battles, some real epic battles at the high school level even. Now they could meet in the Big Tens as well. It's amazing they both end up in the same conference because on the high school national scene, they had some good matches, McMullen and Telford. Burke starts on top with Mario Gonzalez on the bottom. Mario Gonzalez up on his feet trying to get in here on a reversal maybe. Big set-out situation. Thought he'd get 2, but he got the 1, so the Fighting Illini scores first 1-0 in favor of Mario Gonzalez.
Yep, and over here on the other mat, Telford put McClure on his back. McClure rolled on through, and no points awarded. It's now the beginning of the second period.
McClure looks tough. Boy, he looks like a power lifter or something out there. He's not as tall as Telford. Telford, real tall heavyweight.
Telford takes the down position as we start the second period. 2-0 in favor of Telford.
And still on their feet is Mario Gonzalez and Burrick. 1-0. Mario Gonzalez gets out, gets the escape. Looked like he was going to get a reversal there for a while, but that wasn't the case. So now they got a collar tie. Just a lot of hand fighting going on between Burrick and Gonzalez. Somebody needs to take a shot.
Well, McMullen from Northwestern with the takedown over Lawson from Penn State. He's up 2-0.
Gonzalez in on a shot. Burke fights it off with an underhook. Double leg takedown there attempt by Gonzalez. They both go out of bounds with the collar tie. It's 1-0 still with Gonzalez off of that escape, leading 46 seconds to go in the second period. So I believe Burke will start on bottom third period unless he gets choice. He might keep it on his feet. But both wrestlers trying those low leg attacks.
And Lawson from Penn State gets out from underneath, and he gets the escape, so it's 2-1 now in favor of McMullen from Northwestern.
McMullen's got to be seated, what?
Second.
Yeah, McMullen is. Yeah, he's got to be seated high. He's good. He got injured real bad in the Midlands, I remember. Couldn't finish the Midlands. Remember that, Chris?
I believe he did have a concussion.
Yeah, it was a concussion. He got knocked out.
I think he's a Chicagoland area native, so.
He was good at the high school level. He was really making a lot of noise, so he's real tough. So it'd be a big win there for Larson.
Yep. So Bobby Telford from the Hawkeyes up 3-0 now. 30 seconds left in the second period.
Burke starts down. Mario Gonzalez on top. Set third and final period. Trying to get up to his feet there is Burke. He's up. Stands up, gets out, escape. We're tied up, guys, 1-1. 1:52 to go in the third and final period. So between Gonzalez and Burke.
And Burke's long. He seems to be a lot taller than everybody wrestles.
Yeah, he does. Seems like he's got good range, Chad, Chris.
Oh, Gonzalez in deep on a shot.
There before he couldn't finish that last time.
No.
And he didn't finish it this time.
Oh, he's the reigning Big Ten champ, by the way. Mario Gonzalez won this last year, I remember, at Purdue. He was
Burke
the Big Ten champ.
Did a good job in these positions here where you normally see the upperclassmen with the edge there, but you don't see too many true freshmen move like that and down from shots.
Yeah, I'm sure Backus has been saying, hey, when they do that to you, here's what you do.
Yeah, Kurt Backus did tell us earlier today that Burke was just a really good, really coachable athlete.
Yeah.
Really willing to learn new things. And
that's right.
What do I need to do now, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's improved a lot this year.
If there was one school you wouldn't think that you'd see Kurt Backus end up coaching at, it's probably the one he's at right now.
Iowa Hawkeyes, being a strong Iowa State
But they needed a big guy like that in the room, and I mean, you can tell it's paying off, especially with this true freshman here.
Yep, absolutely.
True freshman. I'll tell you what, he has survived two just dead-on takedown attempts by Mario Gonzalez. Once in the first period on the edge of the mat, and then there on the third period at the top of the mat. They're up there on the north side of the mat. I think that's north-south. Yeah, north side of the mat. And no sunshine coming in here.
So. Oh, Burke's in deep on high cross.
Burke in there deep on Mario Gonzalez.
Nothing yet.
He's going to try to cut across for the takedown.
Trying to take the defending Big Ten champ down.
There.
He's around.
There
that's two.
He got the two, so Burke takes the lead with just a minute to go. So,
Uncle Fester there called that one.
Yeah,
he looked like.
Yeah.
That'd be three matches this round where Iowa's gotten takedowns in the last 30 seconds to win the bout.
Gonzalez, does he get the escape?
Gets one. Yeah, he gets one for the escape.
Get out. I don't know if he gave it to him
yet. No.
Here's the escape.
That's a huge match for the Hawkeyes because they just stormed through this round. Just stormed through these quarterfinals.
Big for Iowa. Big win for Burke over the defending Big Ten champ, Mario Gonzalez.
Did they lose anybody at all this round? I think all of them got through.
So Iowa's Burke. He's going to have Schiller will be his opponent in the semifinals from Minnesota. And now the heavies. They've already been started. McMullen's still leading Larson, I believe.
Really far along because Telford's down to the last 10 seconds. He's ridden out his opponent, McClure, the whole final period. And Bobby Telford's going to win this one 4-0.
And he gets the number 1 seed, Tony Nelson, next.
So the Iowa Hawkeyes have had just an outstanding quarterfinals round and should lead by a pretty good margin going into the...
and do we know if Medbury or Chalfont won?
I don't remember.
7-3. He would have been red. Maybe Chalfont or not?
Well, they both had red singlets.
Yeah, so
I think
Wisconsin and Indiana.
I don't know. I won't tell you. I don't know. I saw him run off the mat. He had a red singlet on.
Yeah, there you go.
So
that
we've got
narrows
one match left in this round.
McMullen and Larson. McMullen in the driver's seat here. Escape for Larson. So a 3-point match now here. 50 seconds to go. So who's going to win?
Yeah, McMullen with a nice lead. So.
Mike McMullen.
Yep, Larson's going to have to do something pretty big.
Or Jimmy Larson. Penn State, Northwestern Wildcats.
Yep. I can't think that Penn State, that Coach Sanderson there is going to be real pleased with
tough round
this morning's round because he lost a lot of wrestlers.
Tough round. He picked up some bonus points with Wright, Ruth, and Taylor.
Yep. But that was a big win for Matt Brown for him as well, and Conway. That was
Conway was big and Brown, but the Alton twins, they both went down. The Alton brothers. Mike McMullen needs to just stay smart.
Yep.
First, be a feather in Larson's cap.
He Larson picks him up. He's going to take him down.
There you go. Wow, smart wrestling here.
But Larson's only got 9 seconds left. He should have done that about 2 periods ago.
Yeah, a lot of riding time here, too, in favor of McMullen, Mike McMullen.
McMullen's going to win it 5-4, 6-4 with the riding time.
So that wraps up all the matches this round, actually.
Yeah, it does. So
we don't have any consolation matches this round?
We do not. That will run next round alongside the semis, I do believe.
Okay.
Which does start at 5 p.m. tonight.
I'm looking at my sheet here, and it says session 1 here. That's the reason I wondered. And then session 2.
So, well, we got the semifinals all. We got the semifinals all set up, guys. And 5 p.m.'s our next one. Usually we go on 15, 30 minutes before. I'll let you guys kind of choose, We'll let our listeners know, and we could go.
Why don't you guys make the call here?
So we'll go on 20 minutes before. There we go.
Yeah, we'll do it.
4:40 we'll be live.
Yeah, so be live at 4:40. So just wrapping up this round, the Iowa Hawkeyes had an outstanding round. Just an outstanding round.
They did. 2 number 1s went down that I remember, Storley and Grajales, correct? I know Grajales went down, and I believe Logan Storley went down to the Michigan wrestler there, the number 8 seed, actually. So, but... And Matt McDonough almost went down. I mean, he had, a 5-4 win, I believe. Is that correct? Matt McDonough did.
Did not see that bout.
That was close.
Penn State had some big wins there with bonus points, but they also did drop a couple guys in the Alton.
Right.
Teams.
Yep, and they're heavyweight.
It
was Yates, by the way. Dan Yates from Michigan beat Logan Storley, who's 22-1. So Steinhaus looks good for Minnesota. Minnesota's tough up top. They got a lot of good kids up there. It starts with Steinhaus. It just kind of turns into Murderer's Row with Schiller up there. Storley goes down though, but so he could still come back and place high for him, and I'm sure he's aware of that. Although he's just a sophomore, Storley is.
Yep,
he's a sophomore, so he's young. But
so got a lot of great wrestling coming up tonight at 5 o'clock.
4:40 we'll go on the air.
Yep, we'll have the semifinals of this fine tournament, plus quite a few rounds of consolation to get everything in place so that they can pick the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th place tomorrow. So
it's going to be fun.
So, gentlemen, thank you both. And so on behalf of Takedown Media, out here on the Mat.com and the Mat.tv, I'm Jeff Murphy. This is Steve Foster and Chad Kriz, and we've had a great time this morning, and we'll be back at 4:40 this afternoon to pick up where we left off.
Feed the fans. Have a great afternoon, everyone. We'll see you then.